Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to do the part 2 for the portrait drawing series. I know you guys have been asking for that. In this video I'm going to actually go over the proportions of the head in profile, how to construct a head in a profile view, and then from this I'm going to go on to discussing the structure, a little bit of anatomy, drawing the head in different positions, drawing the head from memory, and also of course the shading as well. All right, so in this video, I'm going to continue what we left off in the last one, and it's drawing the head in a profile view. And of course, I have to take a moment to thank you guys so much for supporting my book. I'm really getting some really good feedback, and for those who have taken the time to let me know, how useful you found it, how much it has helped you, that really means everything. And I thank you so much for all the the positive feedback I've been getting. And thanks so much for everyone who actually took the time to go on Amazon and actually left a review. It means a lot more than you think. All right, so thanks so much everyone. And actually, you know what, that reminds me, I'll be doing a giveaway either next week or the week after. I'm going to be giving away 3 copies, and hopefully it will be able to go out in time for the holiday season. All right, so stay tuned for that, guys. As I said, it's important to have, so you don't get too focused on getting the features right. I'm just going to do some simplified versions that you can actually apply when we start drawing the head. Okay, so first is the eyes. Let's draw the eye. So these are ways that you can draw the features of the head. Really simple. All right, so you don't have to focus too much on getting them accurately all the time. So let's start. We're going to draw the eye. First thing when drawing the eye, you can draw 2 lines like that. It's a V. Now in profile view, the eye is not like this, where the top, see, and the bottom are directly aligned vertically like that. That's not the case. What happens is the eye actually tilts a little back like this, so it's more like this. You see? So we make a V, and we can go from the front and go backwards a little bit like that. Because what happens is basically with the this is the eyeball, right? The lower lid is actually lower. The low eyelid is actually lower on the eyeball than the upper eyelid, which is covering more of the top half. See, it's just like that. So in a side view, it's more like this, and this is more like that. You see what I mean? Okay, so you draw a V, and then you put the curve, make sure it's a little bit backwards. Second or third, you put in the other part that indicates the iris. It's like that. See, and notice what I'm doing here. The top is covered. The top half or top third of the iris is generally covered by the upper eyelid. Now, to add some depth, you can just do like this. Upper eyelid. This is the fatty tissue above the eyes. All right. So basically, you do like this, do like this, do like this, do like this, and then you do like this. And that's it. All right. For the nose, you can think of it as a triangle, like that. All right. And then you have this, and you basically have, this is the area right above the lips. Now, key thing here is to remember that the tip of the nose curves around and attaches here. Now the wings of the nose are not attached to here. They're actually more like this. See? So it's a you can just use it as this is actually like a line of balance. I'll mention that again. But you can just basically do like that, and that will take care of that. Okay? Of course, this is not always straight, but we're just going to leave it like that now for simplicity's sake. All right. Eventually, you can get, you'll understand more about what the bumps of the nose actually mean. From the root, this is the glabella right here. This little downward facing plane is called the glabella. It's actually the area right between the the two eyes. All right, so it goes down, slopes up, there's a little bump, and then another one, and then the tip goes under, and like that. Okay. All right, so here is actually the nasal bone, and here is the tip of the nose that's actually cartilage. So the bone actually stops right here. That's the nasal opening, and this is cartilage, and fatty tissue. All right. Now, what about the lips? The lips are essentially just, in the side view, you can think of them as just like a triangle. Simple like this. That's it. Okay. Now, so essentially you draw a shape like this, and then instead of making it straight like this, you're going to bring it in and out. So it's like this and out, and that's it. So it goes like that, in, out, and that's the lip in side view. All right. I'm going to shade it in. That's up to you. Okay, notice I didn't draw the line straight just like that. I actually made it really light and darkened the edge of it. This is actually the corner of the lip. All right, and remember, the lips are essentially just the inside of the mouth turned outwards. It's really just like this. That's really what the lips are. You know, it's just the inside flesh turned outwards. And with some people, it's more outwards, and some it's not. So that's why some people have fuller lips and some don't. It's you know, it's just a simple biological thing. All right, now, what else? The ear in profile. I mentioned this in the first tutorial. Think of it like an egg or a C shape, and then there are two shapes that I use just to make it simple. One is a curve going around like that, and then there's another that goes around like this. See, and that's it. So you have a little shape like this, you have one that goes over like that, and then there's another that goes like this. It's almost like a light bulb, but this part is missing, so it's like this. That's it. And the other part comes around, and that's your ear. All right, with that said, let's use simplified versions of the nose, like this one, of the eye and the lips and the ear. I think that's pretty simple. We're not getting too caught up with details here. Now, the next thing to think about is how you conceptualize the mass of the head. Before you start drawing the head, you should start to have a feel of what is the mass of the head. All right, in a very simplified form, the mass of the head is something like this. There's a larger top mass and there's a smaller lower mass. All right, so this is like the cranium, the case, the brain case, the part of the head, the big part of the head that's generally covered by hair, that houses the brain. And here is the mandible, and the face is right here. All right, so there are different ways that people conceptualize the head. Some do it like this. Some actually just use a triangle like this. You know, the neck projects out like that. You know, some people use like an egg form. Like that, you know. It's maybe something like that. And some people use this technique. I've seen it first introduced by Andrew Loomis. His books are a classic. Like when people generally recommend or ask me to, you know, what kind of books in terms of drawing, I usually always recommend Loomis's books. Loomis. Really good. So usually uses a cross like that, you know. So here you have the this is one conceptualization, this is one conceptualization, this is one other conceptualization. The idea here is that you have a sense of the mass of the head, that the upper mass is larger and longer and wider, and the lower mass of the mandible, and a part of both forms the face. Okay? Now, it's good to have this in mind. Just like I mentioned in the tutorial about the basic lines of drawing, it's important to have a sense of what's a vertical line as opposed to a horizontal line. and then they make perpendicular lines. All right, it's important to know when two lines are perpendicular. As I mentioned before, I feel like it's a basic skill that sometimes it's taken for granted, and a lot of people don't really pay attention to stuff like this, but it can affect your drawing, okay, especially the structure of forms that you're representing. All right, so this represents the axis, the vertical axis of the head, because we want to make it level, and that's something very important, knowing when the head is level, okay, and not having it tilt upwards or tilt downwards. You want to have the head looking directly forward. All right, and having that horizontal line is important. Now this horizontal line represents the brow line, the eyebrow line, the line that represents that bony mass that the eyebrow rests on, because that's another thing that's also important. Proportions should be based primarily on bony structures, because bone doesn't move. It's not a good idea to base proportions on fleshy landmarks, because flesh can move, flesh can shrink, flesh can contract and relax and change positions. The bone is the bone, and it will not move. All right, it can only change perspectives, but it will pretty much remain the same. All right, so that's why it's good to base your proportions on bony masses or bony landmarks. All right, let's establish a circle. All right, I'm gonna go with this then. So you can actually make the circle any size that you want, and that circle is gonna, for the most part, represent the cranial mass, the mass here. All right, so of course, a lot of people don't really know how to draw a circle, so a good way to do that, to make sure at least it's correct, is to make sure that you put 4 points that are equal distance from the origin, from here. All right, so at least that way you know that even if your circle is not perfect, but you know that you'll have pretty close to equal distance away from here, and that's, as you know, a good idea to get a sense of a circle, even if it's not a perfect one. All right, so first two lines. Second line, we're gonna drop a line down here, and you can already feel the front of the face here starting to shape out. Right now, secondly, we're going to, after we do this, we're going to establish the hairline and the nose line. So we're gonna like find a distance somewhere close to the top of the circle right here. We're gonna drop another horizontal line close to the bottom of this one, about the same distance. We're gonna drop another one. So this distance and this distance should be roughly the same. You have to be perfect, okay? Now from here to here, we're gonna drop another one. Now what are we establishing here? Okay, we've just established the top of the head, which is here, the bottom of the head, which is here, the chin. So this is the chin line. You can write it if it makes it easier for you to remember. This is the chin line, this is the nose line, this is the brow line, and this is the hairline. So this is a third, this is a third, and this is a third. All right, now we're gonna sketch in the jawline, all right, for simplicity's sake. So we're going to assume first, before you draw the jawline, you should sketch in the ear. Now the ear is closer related to the jaw. If you make that connection all the time in your drawings, connect the ear, the base of the ear, to the start of the jawline, your drawings will improve a lot, especially if you're drawing the head tilted backwards or tilted down. You'll notice that the ear has to follow the jawline, okay? So you will know that when the head is tilted down, the ear has to be high because the jaw is low, and when the head is tilted back, the ear has to be low because the jaw is tilted up. All right. Now we're gonna assume that the ear starts on this line. Now the ear does not fall on the line just like that. The ear is actually tilted backwards. So we're gonna say at about, let's say like 30 degrees, right? Because we're going to divide 90 degrees by 3. That's how I get a sense of what 30 degrees would look like. I make a 90-degree angle and I can divide it into 3s, right? So I'm going to have my ear tilted like that. See? So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to say 30 degrees about this, and I'm going to have my ear tilted backwards like that. The ear is not like this. It's tilted backwards, all right? Then we're going to sketch in our little stuff that we have here. So you can have it like that. And there we go. All right, so it's the same way, like you know that basically the jaw, the mandible, is connected at the same area right where the ear canal is. So you can start your jawline from where the ear begins, right here, and there we have it. So you can already see the head starting to shape out, right? Where the ear ends right here, see? Where it attaches to the mass of the head right here. There's a straight line across, and the eye actually falls right on that. So we can put the eye in. We can put a little, just like we did with this sketch, all right? You can draw a little triangle. Sometimes you may have to adjust this a little bit. So I'm just sketching in a triangle for now, just to hold the space. It's like a placeholder. It's like if you're writing something or whatever, you put something just to hold the space. This is like a placeholder. And I do this a lot. So I may just draw the shape of the ear just to hold the space, so I can have a sense of where it is, but I'm not going into the details yet. See? And that's what I'm going to do here. Now, having known this, I can now know that my eyebrow is going to be on this. So I can know that my eyebrow is going to be on this line. All right? So the eyebrow, see, notice what I'm doing here. This is something that I use that is pretty useful. If that's the eye, all right? Right above it, the bend of the eyebrow, like this, occurs right there at the front of the eye. Bend back, bend back. See that? So that's what I did. I aligned the top of the eye with the bend back, all right? Now, remember I talked about the glabella? This is very important, okay? This little down plane and then out, okay? The nose goes, this is actually the root. The root of the nose occurs here, where the nose actually starts its relief from the plane of the face, okay? It starts to lift off. So it goes back. This is the glabella, the space, right? It's almost like this. That's the brow line. And then you have this. The nose starts here and goes out like that. And then the eye is here, See? This is known as the glabella. It's that little downward facing plane right between the eyes, all right? Like, let's say this is a flat plane. With some people, you'll notice that if this is the forehead, it goes down like that. Some people, the nose will project out. Well, some people, the nose may project a little bit less, like this. Some people, you don't even see the glabella much. Some people, it projects even straight out like that. You see? And this is the nose, basically. Like that. Some people, it's like this. Some people, it's like this. So this little area you find it varies a lot with different groups of people. And, you know, it's important to be aware of those little things sometimes, because it can be a big part of what actually captures the uniqueness of someone. All right. So let's make it about average here. So we have here is the forehead. All right. It's the forehead. And here we have the brow line. And we have the eye right here. So now we have the glabella. It comes back. See, like that. Right to under where the eyebrow is, see? And then the nose projects outwards. As I said, with different people, you can have the nose projecting more out, you know, lower, you know, a more moderate relief, a sharper relief. It varies, all right? So the nose goes out and then it comes back to the baseline. So it eventually comes down here. All right, we're going to leave it as a triangle for now. See, just like that. Now, we're placing the lips. As I said in the tutorial before, the lower lip generally falls on the halfway line. And again, goes back to what I mentioned before. You should be able to make divisions. You know, half division, third division, and quarter division. Those three divisions are very important to be able to make in drawing, okay? So, just by eyeing the distance. So let's say the half line is there. Now the line between the lips is generally somewhere in between, like halfway between here, or you can say like it's a third of the distance from the base of the nose to the base of the chin. So just estimate where a third would fall. All right, it's almost like you have this and then you're dividing it into thirds, like so. So this would be the line between the lips. See? Like that. All right, so let's say this is our line between the lips, right? Now we can actually make where the lips end. Let's say it ends a little bit. We put it like right here. Kind of like aligning with the eye. It's not past it and it's not all the way in front of it either. And of course this varies with people. All right, so we're just going to use an average here. I'm going to put it right here. Kind of aligning it with the center of the eye. All right. Now, putting the the lips in will determine how much we make this project. Now, again, this is another thing that you'll find between different groups of people. Some people, you can have someone where this area, this little plane above the lips, and with some people it projects, it just is vertical, just like that. With some people it projects out like that. You see? So it really depends on the type of character you're trying to create, or who you're drawing, or what who you want to draw. All right, so let's say we have the nose, it's out like that, and then we're gonna have the let's make it somewhere in the middle then. So it goes, this is the line, remember it's a third of the distance down. All right, and then we're gonna make our little triangle just like that. You see? Now, another thing that's important to be aware of too is that the lips can also vary. So just like you have this, that triangle to represent the lips, okay, you can also have variations in the lip. So you can have one, sometimes you'll see this in people, like the bottom lip may recede backwards, or actually protrude above the upper lip. So you may have something like this. See, you can have that. You can have something like this. You know, it varies, you know, with whoever you're drawing. So now you have we have our little triangle shape, or a little heart shape that captures the lips, and then there's a down plane, see, and then we have the chin. Now the chin varies with people, of course. You can have, some people have a protruding chin like that, some people have a receding chin like that, some people it even goes all the way back like that. You see, and this is a way that gives you ideas on how to create different characters or different types of personalities in your drawing. You can vary things. So you see, with all these different areas, you can adjust them at will to create a different type of a look or personality. All right, so we're going to put it somewhere in the middle. So this is just a standard. So this is something to be aware of when you're drawing someone. Oh wow, that person has a chin that goes all the way out. See, or this person has a chin that goes all the way back. How far back, and so on. It's good to be aware of those things. All right, so now the base of the chin, I made it round, but for simplicity's sake, it really goes like this. This is the lip, then there's an under shape, and then it goes out, and then down, and then back. So basically, this is the chin. This is under the lips. And see, notice I'm using these kind of zigzag lines because it gives you a sense of the plane. And that's very important when it comes to shading. So you can know what planes face up. So you can anticipate where will light and shadow be, and where will the shadow border be, and so on. All right. Now we have the chin. Next thing is to attach the neck, right? I usually attach the neck somewhere between where the eyes and the ear is at the front. So it's like that, right? So here, we're going to have, mark a little, see between where the eyes end and the ear begin, I'm going to do halfway down. The neck starts here, so it goes back like that, and the neck starts here, right? And then the back of the neck begins right at the base of this mass. So the neck actually attaches to the head. Well, the main muscle of the neck, of the back of the neck, the trapezius, attaches to a bone here, the mastoid process. But basically, all you need to know is right here at the base of the head is where the neck attaches. So the neck angles outwards like this. See, the neck is not straight down. If you see someone with the neck straight down like this, they're deliberately doing that. But the neck does not naturally, position vertically. It's angled like this. See, it's angled away from the head because, this is based on the way the body stands. The body really protrudes or stands erect like this. This is the torso. It tilts back, so there's a lot of counterbalancing. So the neck protrudes out from it, and then the head is like this. See, so the neck protrudes forward because the torso tilts backward, and then the hips tilt forward. See, so there's a lot of counterbalancing that goes on in the head, in the body, and the neck is just an extension of that. All right, so the neck actually protrudes like this. Okay, and then in most people, you'll see a little shadow area right here. All right, now as far as the top of the head, which is another important thing, the top of the head actually does not occur here. It occurs about right over the ear. I'd say generally around here. So that's the major adjustment. Another minor adjustment to make here is that you kind of shift this high point to here. So it'll go something like this. See? Like that. So the top of the head actually occurs back here and not here. All right, so you have to remind yourself to make that adjustment. And then from here, it's just a matter of, you know, attaching hair, you know. So you basically find the hairline that you want to choose, because sometimes you find that people will have hairline a little bit lower, a little bit back, but the average or model that you can use is to put it right here, which is the third line. And you can basically start attaching, you know, whatever hair you want to use right here. So if it's you can make this a, you know, female figure, then see. And this is another thing too, the hairline generally follows like this. It's almost like a line like this. See, just like that. All right, and then of course here will all be hidden. You can use this to draw men or women, male, female. The only difference is that you'll notice is that with males, the contour of the head in profile is generally very angular. Boom, 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 like that. With women, it's more very flowy, very soft forms like that. This is more female, this is more male, angular, you know. And with anatomy, with women, the forms, the surface forms are very soft. With male forms are very strong and robust and sharp, you know. You can really see the angle. So basically, remember, it's important to first establish an axis, you know. You have your, all right, you have horizontal, vertical. All right, then you start establishing the mass of the head. Okay, so you can say, for example, you use something like this, a circle, and then you drop down a little face plane, like that's like the tangent, right? And then you can just attach your chin from there. Okay, then after that you can start making the divisions. All right, so this is essentially a third, a next third, and next third. All right, so next we drop the ear in, and remember the ear is tilted back, it's not straight. All right, the ear is tilted back. Then from here you can actually have a sense of where the eye is. All right, then from here you can know where the, you know, you can start putting the eyebrow in. Then you can know where the nose projects from the face, and then it goes right back to this line. Then from here you can actually use the thirds to determine where does the line between the lips will be, and then you have that. Then it goes back, and then it goes out to the chin and back. All right, and then you have the neck projecting out from that. And remember, the high point of the head occurs above the ear, like around here, not actually at the center. Okay, and then from here it's just a matter of establishing hair, you know, and you can do that however you choose. All right, so those are the basic things you want to know about, you know, establishing the proportions of the head. And as I said in the beginning, you know, draw your features very simple, and they can serve as like placeholders. You know, you have your lips, the ear, the nose, the eyes, in a very simplified manner. You don't try to get all your details in the beginning. You leave your details for last. Just use placeholders. So if anything, you can just erase and adjust. You know, like for example, I may say, okay, you know what, this eye is a little bit too low, so I can just erase that because I didn't spend all my time, you know, focusing on detail. So I just put a new triangle in, and I'll leave that. I may want to make it a little bit longer. I may want to make it a little bit shorter. So the simpler it is, the easier it is to make adjustments. Don't make really serious commitments in the beginning, and then you overwhelm yourself. You see, you leave things very simple and playful, so you can adjust them as you go along. All right. Okay. So if you found this video useful or inspiring in some way, you know, please remember to give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do, so you can stay updated with the new uploads I'll be making. I'm going to be continuing this portrait drawing series. As I said, I'm going to be adjusting anatomy in the future, and the structure and overall shading of the head, and then drawing the head in different positions from memory and from observation. And you know, we'll go from there. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.